Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the topic of the photo that Sexxy Redd took with Martin Luther King. So for this video, I will explain why not only is disrespectful, what she did with that photo of Martin Luther King, but also what it shows a problem when it comes to our society, when it comes to the topic of freedom of expression. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So first and foremost, when it comes to the first point I'm going to get across for this video, the simple answer is yes, it is disrespectful to Martin Luther King, okay? Because the thing is, Martin Luther King, as we all know, was a civil rights icon who fought for our freedom and stuff, which if he wasn't for him, a lot of us would not have the freedom we have today. And to think that someone would disrespect him in a way like that is truly uncalled for and simply put it unnecessary, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, as I was getting at before, and we already know, so I don't even have to mention this much myself. If it wasn't for him, as black people in general, whether you live in America, Canada, the UK, or even just anywhere in the world for that matter, for all you know, um, we as black people would not have the freedom we had. When he was alive, he was going through all sorts of hardships. He was having people attack him, he was having people try to kill him, and all that type of stuff in general, for that matter. And I think that he went through all that hardship, and of course, as we all know, it eventually ended with his life because as I think every black person is kind of smart enough to know, yeah, the government took him out, for that matter. To think that he went through all of that just to be disrespected in that way by someone like Sexxy Redd, who can't even make a good freaking decent song for that matter, is completely unnecessary and uncalled for that matter, okay? And it just shows you the problem with a lot of this new black generation is that they are so effing disrespectful, in all honesty, to be honest with you, okay? That is the truth of the matter, okay? Is that they need to learn to have some respect for something. Because doing that, if anything, it's just a sign that you do not love yourself, if anything. If you're going to disrespect a big time figure like him, then it shows that you don't really love yourself for that matter, okay? And it's not just even her. There's many examples I've seen of people disrespect Martin Luther King, whether it could be people who are rappers who no one's ever fucking heard of, who use his image in a way that's a bit disrespectful in order to, of course, help promote their rap CDs or something, or just it could be that, or just making fun of him or using him in a degrading way, whether they say it's funny or not. Why the hell are you taking an image of a person and putting things to it? Like things like that is like just stupid and annoying, and it's like the type of people in school. It just reminds me of the type of people in school who ruin everything. But anyway, aside from that point, about those type of people and why would ever anyone would have the ability to think that they have the right to just randomly take an image of someone, a living human being, whether he is actually dead now at this point, and just simply, without their permission, just add things to it, is simply beyond me, and I don't know why anyone would feel they have the right to do it. And but aside from that, back to what I was saying is that this new generation are going to have to learn to be more respectful and not disrespectful to people who fought for you, because at the end of the day, he fought for us. He went through all hell on earth for us, and just to see him disrespected in that way is truly uncalled for and unnecessary. Which brings me to my second point, which is the topic, of course, of freedom of expression. And this is the thing what I want to get across here. Now, this one's going to be a bit controversial, but I definitely believe when it comes to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, there's a difference between the two. Freedom of speech means that you can say whatever you want to say. Freedom of expression is is different than freedom of speech. It relates more to things like showing images of stuff like, images of stuff like whether it could be showing images of things that might be important to people, like religious symbols and stuff, or even pictures of famous historical figures, and feeling that you have the right to be able to add your own touches and so on and so forth to it, okay? The truth of the matter is, I definitely am not the biggest fan of freedom of expression. And things like this is an example of freedom of expression going wrong, because freedom of expression, in all honesty, like, especially in this case like this, just shows you who a lot of this new generation are. A lot of this new generation just don't love themselves, okay, if anything, okay? And even aside from the disrespect, of course, of historical figures and people in general, which I see all the time, the problem with freedom of expression, in all honesty, is that when it comes to this particular point I'm trying to make, is that it brings up a question of who exactly do you respect? Who exactly do you believe in? Because this is a society we live in nowadays, okay? Everyone is always disrespecting or making fun of through the images of things for everything, whether it's Martin Luther King or even God or whatever thing you can think of. People are always using, um, images like filters and all that type of stuff to disrespect things. Whether it could be, maybe it could be like the image I was referring to for Sexxy Redd with Martin Luther King, or it could be something like you might depict God, an image of God, his face, and of course depict him with, of course, an erect private part behind him indicating that God's a dick, and so on and so forth. And that is not a very good thing, aside from obvious disrespect, because it brings up the question of who exactly do you respect. And this is the thing people need to understand about society in reality. For society to work and survive, you need to have something that you believe in, something that you stand for. A society where everyone just satires and makes fun of everything is an empty society that has no soul to it whatsoever, okay? That's a society you and nobody in the world would truly want to live in, especially when you actually um would realize what it'd be like, okay? Because no one would have anything they believe in, nothing that they stand for, and it'd just be straight up boring because you have nothing to believe in. It just like living in a world where people don't even celebrate holidays, or even if they celebrate holidays, they don't even follow the basic protocols you're supposed to do. It's like, for example, saying on Christmas, for example, I'm just gonna get a pizza or something, like, then why do you even celebrate in the first place? It's so stupid. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, there needs to be a basic standard, of like respect for everything. And when you keep on doing stuff like this, then it just shows you that you don't respect anything. And that's a soulless, immoral society. And God forbid what kind of stuff that can lead to in the future. The truth of the matter is, people in this world need to have something that they believe in. Something that shows that, that they have something that they stand for, but also that they have some degree of something that shows that they love themselves. When people just disrespect every and anything like this, then it just shows that you're empty. You have no soul, no personality, no nothing. So in the end of the day, what exactly do you stand for in the end of the day? And then society that would lead to doesn't seem like a society you or anyone, especially thinking on long term, at least most of us would want to live in. So just have something you believe in, And respecting Martin Luther King, someone who fought for all of us black people's freedom, is obviously something that would make sense that you would obviously, of course, no surprise, respecting his image and his legacy is something you'd want to do. And that's literally everything I have to say about that topic. So anyway, this is my video. All I have to say is that I hope you not only found it informative, I hope you as well found it interesting. Just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.